know, in our room there's lots of lights everywhere. And this was actually a dorm room. It was in a really old building. This building, it was made of wood and bricks. You could tell the wood was on the inside and the bricks were outside covering the building. So electrical cords were really old. A long time ago, the cords were different from now. It's not the same as it is today. So, my freshman year, they had a curfew, which meant at that time, all the lights were out. They would turn all the lights out, and it meant it was time to go to bed. 10 o'clock, it's time to go to bed. First semester, they would kind of postpone it until 11 o'clock. The first semester, the curfew was at 11. But then, after that, curfew was 10. But I was like, it's 10 o'clock, I'm not really finished studying. I'm not tired, I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to go to bed early, I'm not a baby. I'm not like I was in residential school, I'm older now. So my roommate was really smart. He knew how to mess with the electricity with the lights. So what did this guy do? So the lights, he rigged them up. All the cords, he rigged them up to the door. And the door would open and close. So around the door frame, it was called a jab. He put the plug on top, the door was here, and he would rest it on top of the frame, on top of the jib. So they're lying perpendicular to each other. So when you would open the door, the lights would go out. The connection would make the lights go out. And suddenly the lights would go out when you open the door. When you close the door, the electrical current would happen again and the lights would go on. All night. That was a really great idea. Do you understand what I mean? So, anyway. So we would always remember the door, it would have a place for towels. Like a bath towel. So we would put it at the bottom of the door so it would prevent the light from creeping out from under the door. So, one night, we forgot to put the towel at the base of the door. We forgot the towel, we forgot to place it down there. So late at night, we're playing cards. And we were playing poker. College students were just having a good time playing poker. So we're all sitting around, about six of us boys, playing cards, having a good time. And the door opened and the lights went out and we all froze because we knew that the door must have opened since the lights went out. And each one of us just froze and we were just silent, quietly sitting there. And what happened was someone had opened the door and they tried to look inside, but they couldn't see because it was dark. So they shut the door again, and the lights suddenly went back on. Oh, and we were relieved. But again, the door opened. But then, when they closed the door the second time, they could see the light peeking from underneath the door. Oh, and they figured us out. So, that person went back, and they found someone else, came back to the door, opened it with a flashlight. And there it was, the flashlight shining in all of our faces as we sat there. So we all had to go into the hallway. The lights on the inside of the room were off, and the light in the hallway was on, so we had to go out there. And the residential advisor was like, well, this is very interesting. What's going on? You care to explain? And we kind of said, well, we don't know. And he said, you were playing with the electricity, weren't you? You tampered with it. And he said, well, good job. It's really smart of you to do that. You know, you really know a lot about that, but at the same time, that was a very stupid thing to do. Very stupid. And he was so angry, and he just bawled us out and was shouting at us, and we just stood there, and we just had to take it. And why was he so angry at us? Because it was a fire hazard. Because the electricity, that connection we made, could have started a fire. So we set it up on top of the door, but we didn't really have any idea that it would start a fire hazard. We thought it was just safe, a fun thing to do, to stay up late. And when he rigged that mechanics, he didn't think it was dangerous. That it was just safe. It was just something that we did. But really, he was really upset with us, and we all got into trouble. But 3 of them were innocent. It wasn't their fault. It was the 3 of us that had the idea. But it didn't matter. They were still involved with it, so they got in trouble as well. So that's the story. Do you see what can happen? For about 2 weeks, that one that knew how to rig the mechanics up, and himself, he was deaf, and you know, a lot of deaf people are really good with mechanics, so he's really skilled with working with electrical things. And that's my story.